Well, it's been a few months since I made a video and I've been busy. So I guess I'll catch you up on kind of what I've been doing here. First thing, I guess we'll start with the Falcon. I went ahead and I fixed that fuel line so that no longer leaks, and brought it into the garage and took off the rims. We got some new tires on it. Went ahead and I soaked the rims in a big tub of vinegar, clean off all the rust, and then I painted them with some just some regular old green paint, no big deal. And I got the seat, the original seat for it I took out, and I actually cleaned it up, replaced some springs because it sat outside for ever and a day and everything was rusty. So I got the frame all put back together, and I actually went ahead and bought a little sewing machine and made my own covers out of some cheap painter's drop cloth and some foam and whatever, just as an experiment. Bought a little tiny sewing machine, and it turned out okay. Doesn't match any of the car, but whatever, I can sit on it. So before I put those in, I got to do something with the floors. I have the pans here for the two front sides, but I don't have toe boards, so I was figuring I'd maybe make some out of that steel box there, just something in there so I have a floor. And then I got some green indoor-outdoor carpet I can lay down for some carpet in here. And when I was doing that, I was shifting it and actually broke the shifter. So there's a pin in there that the collar is actually broken on it. I don't know if you can see that. Oop, I got another one. I just got to put it in. Kind of a pain. Got to take the steering wheel off and the turn signal mechanism out and all that, but that's in the future. One other thing I got to do still is replace the tank in the back here. But before I do that, I have to take care of the frame rails in the back where the leaf springs hook up. I figure I'll use this, hopefully be able to use this square tubing, make something work where the leaf springs mount, hopefully. And then I have to patch together some leaf springs, because this is one I'm going to hopefully take some pieces off of and rework. But yeah, the leaf springs are broken and sagging and junk, so got to do that. Got to fix the frame. It's a process, and then replace the tank. But all that actually got sidetracked. I had it in the garage in February and I was messing with it, and then other things came up. And one of those things that came up was the 06 Envoy here. My mom's car. My dad took it to town, February I think sometime, and it was about 20 below. And he stopped at the grocery store. He came back out and fired it up, and it was knocking and rattling and sounded horrible. So he looked down at the gauge, had 0 oil pressure, which is lovely. He figured it was out of oil, so he made the trip to the auto parts store, about a quarter mile from the grocery store, and it made it there. I don't blame him for not walking because it was 20 below. But he made it there, bought some oil, popped the hood and checked it. Still had oil in it, but he went ahead and topped it off and then tried to start it, and it just went clunk. So I went up there and tried jumping the battery. That didn't work. I grabbed a bar, put it on the crank, tried to wiggle it. It wouldn't move. We drug it home. I went ahead and pulled the starter out and put a pry bar on the flywheel just to make sure. And yep, it's locked up tighter than the drum, so that thing's about junk, I figure, which is a shame. It was working pretty good, but it's got 200-something thousand miles. I think we got our use out of it, and my mom went ahead and got a 2011 Ford Escape. I haven't really messed with that much, but yeah, so that's where this one's at. I guess we don't need to buy new tires. It's a good thing. And then, not too long after the GMC blew up, we got another delay. My dad was driving this thing around, and he was complaining about the transmission flaring up when it would shift, and he asked me about it. And I said, your transmission's probably gone, or going. And he asked if fluid change would fix it, and I said, probably not. And he asked if we could do it anyway. I said, fine, we got all the stuff. And before I could even do it, the transmission neutral out on one of the shifts, and it'll only do about 25. It'll go into first and second, but after that, it just neutrals out. So we went ahead and we had the stuff. We figured, what the heck, we'll try it. Went ahead and did a fluid change on it. Of course, that didn't do anything. And in the process of taking the pan out, because it's such a pain in this one, and I didn't really know what I was doing, broke the 2 shift solenoids in the back, had to replace those, and then figured out we had to drop the exhaust. Did that, still didn't shift, and then it started running horrible. I was throwing a lean code, but it was blowing black smoke, so I figured it had an exhaust leak, and figured it was because we dropped the exhaust to get the pan off. So dropped the exhaust again, looked at the gaskets, that was all fine, and it actually turned out to be an exhaust leak up front. If I can get the hood open to show you here. There we go. Oh, which side was it on? I think it was on this side. As you can see, there should be bolts there, and there's nothing. They're snapped off. So that's why it was sucking air and thought it was lean and sending it super rich. So I just went ahead and unplugged the O2 sensor. Called that a freaking day, because we're not driving on the road anyway. And that was the end, basically, of this truck. Still runs. A little noisy, not a big deal, but the thing has, I don't know if I can find it here, 310,000 miles, so I think she's seen her better days anyway. But maybe we'll use it as a plow truck or something around here, because you don't really need to go over 25 to plow snow, so we can still get some use out of it. After about a week after that transmission went out on my dad's other truck, I found this one super cheap, much better shape. Even though it looks rusty, it's not nearly as bad, and it had been sitting for a few years, so I had to replace the brake line because that was rotted out. Alternator was completely locked up. Replace that. The tensioner didn't tension. The wheels I replaced. The belt I replaced, and then, you know, we'll get to that in a minute. But when I did the brake line, I think I wiggled the power steering return line and cracked that, so it was leaking that. So I had to replace the power steering pump because that's part of the reservoir. And when I did that, that thing was so rusty, and that was a pain to get off. And then when I put it back on, I didn't quite get it far enough, so it ate into the edge of the belt a little bit. But I fixed that, and now she's good to go. Got 170,000 on it, I think. And it runs pretty good, and tires are good and all that stuff, so not too bad for sitting for a couple of years like it did. Come on, there we go. 1 million. I hate the radios. Anyway, she runs pretty good. I still have to replace the oil pressure sensor. I keep forgetting to do that, but it's got oil pressure. Not 80 pounds, I don't think. Let's see here. Mileage. Yeah, 170,000 miles, so about half what that other truck had. And I got it super cheap, so there's the 06 GMC that we picked up. And then there's that 2011 Escape thing. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. Not a pain, but just boring. I don't know much about it. And the old Chevy, I'm still rocking that thing. It's still running good. Pretty sure my boards are still, yep, they're still in there, still holding up the cab. They'll do just fine. Of course, there's still holes in the tank, so I can't fill it all the way up, but the thing runs, so I just keep rocking it. Oh, I got a four-wheeler too. And here is the four-wheeler. I got this thing for free. It had been sitting for years. Not exactly sure how long, but long enough. Had to go through the carburetor course. Had to replace the shutoff for the fuel. And I still need a battery. I got a little lawnmower battery in there, but got it running. Took it for a spin and then parked it for maybe 20 minutes and then came back and tried to run it and it wouldn't start. Turns out the needle stuck in there and just flooded the whole thing, so I had to take carburetor back off and clean it up some more, and hopefully it works now. I haven't quite got it back together yet, but had to replace the choke cable. Nothing real big. It does run, but yeah, that's another project that got in the way, as they all seem to do. But it should be a fun little zoomer, free ATV. Can't beat the price. And not car related, but I also got the gardens planted. This one's just leaves spread out, and I've got pumpkin hills here, so this should be full of pumpkins before too long. And then this one, I actually hauled in a bunch of dirt from the pasture, manure where we were feeding them, and hay and whatnot. Probably about 3 of them truckloads worth I shoveled in here by hand. So that was a bit of work, but this garden needed it. There wasn't much there. Not really, nothing to do with cars, but more stuff I've been doing. And then there's this. I mean, no explanation needed, right? This is actually a donor car for that one way out there, that white one. Long story short, guy that has that white one there thought he could replace his own top and bought a new top and went ahead and went after it and peeled it with less care than you would a banana and pulled all the padding and everything right off the frames, ripped it off. So all the little zippers that hold it on were torn away, and he threw all the top away, so there really wasn't nothing I could do. And they took it to the dealership, and dealership, well, you need a whole new top, frame, all that stuff, $5 grand, and they only paid $2,500 for the car. So plan B was this thing. Found this thing for $1,300 and of course went ahead, had a good top on it, so we ripped the top off. I ripped the top off and went ahead and swapped the seats out, because the seats, these are from the other car, seats were better in here. Ripped the glove box out because that was broken on the other car. And yeah, been busy. Now I gotta kind of put it back together and get a top on this so don't get full of rain. But yeah, I probably should have filmed this one, because there's no real videos about how to take the entire frame out on these Beetles, but you can kind of figure it out. It's not too bad. There's only really 3 bolts holding the frame part in, and you got to get these arms off. This one was a power top at one time, but it doesn't work, and it's got all sorts of issues, which is why it was good for a donor car anyway. It does run though, that's a plus. And put it all on that car. There's one more thing I got to do. I got to take the trunk motor actuator thing out of there and put it in that one, because that one don't work, and then that one will be ready to go. Nothing really special about that one. It's from Kentucky, so it doesn't have the rust like this one does. But busy between all this and the lawnmower. So it seems like every week somebody wants me to fix a lawnmower. Between that and all these projects and working a full-time job, there hasn't been much time for YouTube. So that's kind of why I've been away. But I'm going to go ahead and swap out that trunk and probably spend the rest of the day sort of putting this thing back together so it doesn't get wet. I have the new top. That's not quite right for it over there. I might put that on just to keep this thing dry on the inside, because once they get wet, that'll screw up a lot of electronics.